Welcome to the best of reel of RSR5. Of course, tomorrow is the premiere of RSR6. And before we do that, I want us to run through memory lane when it comes to RSR5 of all the great moments. If you didn't watch the reel at the end of the finale, of course, we're doing this standalone, of course. I hope you enjoy memory lane, or just walk through memory lane again, because, you know, why not? With that being said, hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy the memories and the laughter and the good moments that we all had over the past year before we start a brand new year of memories and fun times. So, hope you're having a happy new year, and hopefully we can enjoy this as one last look back before we get on to a brand new, crazy, wild, and full to the gills year. Let's look back at RSR5 and all the moments of 2023. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the reel, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Take it away, Pastor Ryan. Do I even need to talk about it before I start with this? TCU, welcome to the National Championship Casino, where you can only win titles in blood diamonds. Blood diamonds. Because you definitely followed the rules of National Championship Casino. Because you go to casino, spend all your money, watch all your money disappear. You went all in just to win the Fiesta Bowl. And then once you got to the national championship, you played more nervous than somebody going on their first hunting trip. My word. Y'all, every time you spun a slot, it went up bar, bar, bar. Every time Georgia spun, it came up 777. Hell, we could talk about y'all got lapped. Y'all won qualifying, Georgia didn't. Or y'all won qualifying one, they won qualifying two. But you were way more dominant in your qualifier. But you have the real race and you get lapped by 5 laps when it really mattered. That's what happened to y'all, TCU. You got pasted. People are going to be like, yeah, Phil Neville, talented manager, unlike his brother. As long as he doesn't lose 8-2 to frickin' Seattle or something, I mean, yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Yeah, it was. I think I'm actually giving Gary Neville more credit for the Valencia loss. The tribe has spoken. The Spanos is, you suck as owners, and your franchise must be deleted. The tribe has spoken. It's time to go. Or how about they pissed themselves, but they didn't crap themselves? Let's put it like that. They could have easily diarrheaed their own underwear in this game for the world to see. To a Saudi All-Star team. Not even a Saudi All-Star team, a Riyadh All-Star team. Al Hilal and Al Nasir. Josh Allen. And Tony Romo called him the alien. All I could think of was the Toy Story aliens. Ooh, the claw. Yeah, that's all I can think of. But there are times you feel that a game feels like it's gone 4 or 5 hours instead of 2 or 3. Or sometimes it feels like the game's gone an hour or less. Like it's the feeling. Sometimes games look like they're high-paced and feel like they've gone by in a flash. This felt like it went by meticulously. Like it was just dragging on and dragging on. Now, and you normally would think the fact that I've been watching mostly in January, mostly watching college football and hockey, and that's what I watched on this channel, you would think, this game's going to feel quicker because it always has. No, it didn't. Now, the Riyadh PSG game felt pretty quick, but out of a game that mattered, this did not feel quick. And it should have, with what I've been really covering recently in the slow moment. It should have been like, yeah, this feels really quick. So that just gives another indictment to this game on the fact that if it didn't feel quick after I've basically just been covering NFL and hockey and college football for the past month because it's all slow and that's basically what I can do this month. If that's what happens, you played so meticulously that you basically wanted to make people just go to sleep. Seriously. Here come the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco, 1-yard touchdown run, 21-24, makes the lead 3 for the Eagles. The great touchdown robber, the great touchdown scorer, Isaiah Pacheco. Win this game at once, makes the 1-yard touchdown run. Try to make a delocated joke there. If you know, you know. And if you don't, well, look up Igor Pachenko, delocated. You'll thank me later. Hilarious. But that midfield is just Swiss cheese. That midfield is soft. That midfield is just soft. It's S-A-W-F-T, soft. And if I had a dime for every time they cost us a game, I'd have way more than 2 dimes. I'd probably have 20. Over the past year and a half, or over the past half year and tonight, I'd probably have 20. Or again, we could use the reverse card metaphor because that's exactly what happened. Olympia gets a 4-1 lead at home and you think, this is over. They could score a goal. They're Olympia. They could score a goal no matter what. And then Atlas plays that reverse card, sets it down, slaps him over the head with it and says, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. We're scoring 4. We're scoring 3. We're sending you home. We're going to do what Austin can't because guess what? Austin FC, and yeah, I'll comment on other games, another similar moment. Austin came back home after a horrible defeat in the first leg and probably more embarrassing. They didn't have a reverse card. They didn't have a green reverse card in their hand. Atlas did have a red one, though. And I guess the number on the... For some reason, the number on the table was 2 in red, and they said, nope, we're playing this. Boom. It was the first half from hell that put them into a hole. They played possum and then ended up in a bowling bag in somebody's trunk. What does that mean? They played possum just to end up dead. So year after year, they had no soul. They had no passion. They wilted at the first sign of pushback. But what did they do this year? The grit finally came off on them. The sandpaper finally worked. They got balls. Cojones. They found a way. How crazy is that? They found a way to win. For the first time in God knows since frickin' Bush was president and Harper wasn't even PM yet, no? No, I don't think so. I think it was still a liberal government. Seriously, that's how long this has been. 3 prime ministers and 4 presidents. Bush wasn't even into his 2nd term yet. That's how long this has been. I'll bring it up. I don't care. Bush was still generally liked when the last time the Leafs won a playoff series. I think. I don't think people really started hating him until Hurricane Katrina, yeah? I don't think so. That's just what I remember, though. And Canadian Bush wasn't even in office yet. I mean, Stephen Harper. The world has changed. The Leafs, they've been in the doldrums for way too long. That's my point. They've been in the doldrums for way too long. The only man back let Sean Johnson get nutmegged by Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood. Bobby bleeping Wood. Luckily, it wasn't Josie. That would be worse. I'd be off a wall. But Bobby Wood. This isn't 2013. Bobby Wood. Sean Johnson got nutmegged, but that's Rosted's fault for getting overpressed. They were playing with fire for about 5 minutes there. They finally got burnt. What are we doing? And then you got Bill Manning allowing this clown show to go on because he damn well knows if he brings down the hammer on Bradley, he's next. He's been buttering himself up and getting through walls, person by person by person. He is not getting the heat that he deserves. He should be gone too. But no, he butters himself up and gets himself through the railings and says, not my circus, gets out of it. Curtis gets thrown under the bus. Armas gets thrown under the bus. Perez gets railroaded. He was better than Bradley, by the way. I said that on the weekend. He got railroaded. Bob Bradley's probably about to get frickin' sent on a frickin' ship back to Egypt, and not a cruise ship. I mean a frickin' shipping vessel sent back by top men. And Bill Manning is still going to slide. Like, this isn't his clown show. This isn't his. It's not his fault. He won a cup. No, it's your fault. It's your fault too, Dr. Evil. It's your fault too. My boy, you need to go too. Bernadeschi again, off at the 60th minute. Bob, Bacala, what are you doing? Pezzo de merda vaffanculo. Pezzo de merda vaffanculo. What are you doing? What are you doing? For Jordan Faria, and I'm not cutting on him. It was his senior debut. He's okay for TFC2, but hey McFly, he's not better than Federico Bernadeschi, and we have nothing, and I mean nothing to play for on Tuesday. You see that cross? Nothing! Or Wednesday. So why take out Federico? He would be fine on Saturday. What? You're afraid of injury luck? You didn't care till now. Seems like you actually don't care, considering keeping Federico in might have saved your job. Or are you so sure you're not going to lose your damn job that you just took him out anyway? Did you get assured of something? Do you know something we don't? Because that is disrespectful. If you know something we don't, and that's why you took off Federico, you better frickin' spill it right now. There's nothing to play for on Wednesday. I said Tuesday, I was pissed off. Wednesday, nothing to play for. You could have kept him in. You took him off with 1 minute left on Wednesday this past week. You take him off at the 60th. He didn't have to come off. Oh, he almost played 2 full games. Okay. He didn't have to play Wednesday. He would have had a full week of rest. He's a professional. He can play 3 games in a week. They're trying to make Fetty look like the evil guy when in reality, the villain in the eyes of the big boys is actually the good guy and the victim is actually the bad guy. I think they got this wrong. It's like Vince McMahon booking Roman Reigns to be in the main event of WrestleMania for 5 straight years before he turned heel. Nobody wants this. Only you do, you senile prick. And that senile prick being MLSE and Bill Manning. And honestly, Bob Bradley, because he's honestly fighting for himself. But you get my point. You let them stay alive way too long. They got even more alive. Then they sat up like The Undertaker. And then they chokeslammed your ass to hell. That's what happened. You choked. You bottled. You bottled this game. And all they're going to think about is 23 Chivas. Like 98 Braves. Because did you deserve to win this league? Were you the favorite? Yeah. And you choked. Well, there you go. 23 Chivas, that's the new song. It ain't 98 Braves no more. And maybe I did it to him wearing that Braves jersey. I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know. Goes to Arriaga. Arriaga gets a good goal out of it. And I'm not surprised. I like Arriaga. I always thought he was a damn good player, even when he was at Marathon. I thought he was a good player. I was sounding the alarm for him. Back then, I said he should come to TFC. I said that, point blank period, 2020 CONCACAF League. I said it when Arriaga was playing for Marathon. And he was one of them that I had an eye on. And, well, guess what? He's in MLS now. And he's good. I knew it. My eyes don't lie. My eyes don't lie. Trust me, my eyes don't lie. With that being said, though, I got to give it to Kervin Arriaga for scoring that goal. With that being said, León finally got what they wanted. They finally went from chokers to champions. And I know how León fans feel because, well, I mean, I've made the joke that León is the Toronto Maple Leafs of CONCACAF. I'm making fun of my own hockey team to make fun of León in that situation because they choke incessantly in Champions League. They win the league, but they choke incessantly when it really matters, in my book. Not now. No. Just like the Leafs won a round. Finally won a round, and I loved it. I felt amazingly happy. I cried tears of joy. Even on camera, I couldn't help it. León fans feel the same way because they won what they wanted. Yes, it's cool to win Clausura and Aperturas and get to the final because that's how you get here, at least for the recent part of time. Now you could do good enough in Liga MX, which they did not, or win Leagues Cup. They could do that. They still can, or at least get top 3. They could do that. They're not out of it just yet to defend their title. We'll see, though. But with that being said, León, I know how their fans feel. They are over the moon right now. They've been heartbroken so many times that it finally goes their way. And they actually won a trophy. Let's remind, they actually won a trophy. This is like if the Leafs won the Stanley Cup. Leafs couldn't do that. They just won a damn round, and I was over the moon. So León fans are probably even more over the moon than I was when the Leafs won a round and stopped choking. I mean, there you go. Straight up. Like, León legitimately deserves this. They have been soldiering through heartbreak and winning their league, but not being that CONCACAF team they wanted to be. They've been looking for this for years. They lost to Chris bleeping Armas and Bob Bradley. Bobby bleeping Bacala. Again, I hate both their guts. And they somehow, both, of course, Bradley with LAFC, Armas with Toronto FC, used TFC too. It's still somehow won. I don't get it. I think this will make sense. I have to say it. Why am I throwing the big gold over my shoulder? Because like Seth Rollins, I hate football. Odio il calcio. Seriously. Them man were picking chicoria out there. That's all they were doing. And diving. You could easily say, I used to be a footballer like you, but then I took a stud to the knee. That's exactly what they were doing. And who knows if they took a stud. A couple of times they did. The goalkeeper did. I think somebody else on the outfield did. Of the outfield players did. Took a stud to the knee. But, again, this game was horrible. Italian football is getting owned left and right center right now. Roma lose to Sevilla. Fiorentina lose to West Ham. Inter lose to Man City, which I sort of respect that one, but they kind of did it to themselves too. And then Italy, the Azzurri, the U20 Azzurri, lose to Uruguay. And you damn well know that the main Azzurri are going to lose something in the Nations League, whether that be to Spain or whether that be to Croatia / the Netherlands. Or they lose both the semifinal and third place match. Remember, there's one of those. I hate football right now. Odio il calcio. I feel like Seth Rollins when he's watching a Bears game. This is hell. By the way, this jersey, I feel like it's cursed. I feel like it's cursed. I need a new Italy jersey. I do like the away kit, though. That was the best thing about Italy tonight, was their away kit. And I can tell you one thing. Buc-ee's is not worth the hassle. I can tell you that much. And just imagine how much worse it would have been had it been in Texas. And I feel like a footballer who just got drenched. Because it's raining like a freaking mug out there. So if he fires Bob, he is in the shit. He is done. If it ain't anybody worth a damn and they don't turn this thing around in 15 matches and win the Leagues Cup or get into Champions Cup, he's done. And he knows it. And that's why he keeps driving this sinking ship. He's like the guy off Titanic saying, I'm dressed in my evening's finest and intend to go down with a ship. But I would like a brandy. That's him. And he's endangering everybody else. Their seasons, their livelihoods, their careers, because he wants one guy to come out on top. And that's Bill Manning. Because he can make the decision. It's at his doorstep. He signs that P45 for Bob Bradley. You want to know. He signs that P45, he's as good as gone. Unless there's somebody who could turn this around. I hate to say it, but I told you I wouldn't talk myself into having Canada win this tournament. I couldn't do it with the roster they have. I couldn't do it with the roster Jamaica has. Callahan did not look like the golden child that he did in Vegas. And I was leading me to say that that's why you always cash out when you beat the house. Even though Berhalter would have been worse for the USA, you always cash out when you beat the house. Turns out, he still won one of his bets. Even though he lost a lot of his money. Legitimately, it can't be worse. You could put a freaking broom in net and it wouldn't be worse. You could put one of those tackling sleds in net and it wouldn't be worse. Legitimately. I'm not saying he's the whole reason we lost this match, but it doesn't help when your team doesn't perform and your goalkeeper is acting like a freaking fool. Is acting the fool. Or any of these matches, to be honest. Especially this one. He was the whole reason we lost to RSL. I'd say he was the whole reason we lost to Cincinnati. Slightly the reason we lost to New England. The slight, but more the reason we lost here. But the team didn't even put him on his back. Or didn't even put them on their back. You would think a goal that he allows puts a battery in this team's back. What are you doing? They don't care. Is he that bad? That this team is like, oh, well, we allowed a goal. They're on us like wad on rice. This fool allowed a goal. We're done. We don't care. That must have been the thought process. But even then, before they allowed a goal, they looked like crap. They were on us like wad on rice. So, did they just not give a shit tonight? Did they just not care? Marron. Vaffanculo de merda. Ma va fa Napoli. Jesus Lord. Oh, Edu, don't you know what that's worth? Kai Havertz couldn't score a point. No joke, he couldn't. I had to there. Dude, I expected better from Kai Havertz. I've seen him play better than that. I've seen him have some better finishing product than that. I don't know what the hell that was. I didn't think the crosses were too bad. He just couldn't finish. He put on a seminar in midfield. They couldn't touch him. And the one time they did, guess what? It made them lose the game anyway. Wow. Like, I'm blown away. Messi, he was worth price of admission and more. And I wasn't even there. Just imagine if you were in Miami when that stadium probably registered on the Richter scale after he scored that free kick. I don't care if he stunk up the joint. That would have been worth the price of admission, let alone the fact he put on a midfield symphony. Plus that free kick. He should have scored 2 goals. Messi should have ripped them to shreds. I mean, he almost did, but it should have been more obvious. You know? So, again, that was the first time we saw VAR used in the Leagues Cup. And I can't believe that's why they used it. I just wonder which part of Rotlost paid the refs. Was it the DirecTVos? Was it the fan base? Was it the players? Was it somebody who don't like New York? Was it? I don't know what it was. That was the most undeserving 3 points I think I've ever seen the Golden Boot over there last year. But he's still a tronco at heart. Look at what he does with El Tri. Now he has a player that won't make him like that for a Medica, which might just make it worse. But if Quinones plays for El Tri as well, if he gets naturalized, ooh. So before I end, I got a little bit of a song to sing about the end of this season to wave goodbye to the Toronto FC ship of hope, so to speak. The good days have come and passed. The trophy gleam will never last. Wake me up when the season ends. Like the cup has come and passed. 6 years have gone so fast. Wake me up when the season ends. No dusty finish, as far as I could tell, but Vince Russo definitely booked this with how many swerves this game had. It was full of swerves. I mean, Miami scores 1. They go down. They keep going down. They get 1 back. They go down back 2. Messi scores an own goal or sets up an own goal to be scored. Scores a free kick. 5 minutes to go, which really was 9 minutes to go with, or 11. 5 plus 5 is 10. So 11 minutes to go with the extra time. Stoppage time to be played. I mean, then 4 minutes later in the 56th minute, Justin Glad is hearing the song Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff. He falls asleep, passes the ball right into the path of a pressing Denny Bwanga. Denny Bwanga dispossesses Justin Glad and top bins it against Zach McMath to make it 2-0 in 4 minutes. Get a brace in 4 minutes for Denny Bwanga. You don't let him have that easy chance. It's 2-0. Tano Ortiz finally chokes in a knockout game. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. Doesn't seem like the horseshoe is still up your ass now, isn't it? The plot armor finally falls apart. I can't believe I just saw it. To Nashville, of all teams. To Nashville. The plot armor of international competition falls apart. To Nashville. Nashville! Man, they're a tough-ass team. If that's the case, they're a tough-ass team. Not tough enough to beat Miami, but still. But I would bet $50, like my good man Jose. Nobody thought that this result was going to happen. Nobody thought Nashville was going to win this match. I would bet that everybody thought Rayados was going to win this one. I would bet so. 50 sounds like a good bet, right? I don't know about you, but I don't suffer fools lightly, and the way they played this game was foolish. And it makes me want to call Trinidad and Tobago this. And before we do it, I need a paper pop, because if we're going to make a college football reference, we got to go do the good old Josh Pate paper pop. So, paper pop. Listen. Trinidad and Tobago are CONCACAF's Appalachian state. Ever since that fateful night in Cuba, where they beat the USA to make sure the USA wouldn't go to Russia, Trinidad and Tobago have been a team that have beaten mid-level teams in CONCACAF with regularity and made the big boys have fits. Trinidad and Tobago aren't some garden variety minnow. And they didn't even need all these dual nationals to do it. No. They had their local team. They had a C team come in tonight to El Salvador and beat El Salvador. You cannot say, here's the problem. If you say Trinidad and Tobago are getting rolled by El Salvador or by Jamaica or by Canada or by the USA, you're wrong. They're not getting rolled. They may lose in the end. They're not getting rolled, but they won tonight. That's like Appalachian State. Look at what they did to Michigan when they were in the FCS. All right? That's like Cuba. That was the world, them saying to the world, we're here. We're here. Better get used to it. And ever since, they've had some really big moments. Trinidad's had some big moments. Appalachian State's had some big moments. This may be like that Texas A&M game last year. Point being, unlike college football, you can't control who you schedule. So you can't say, don't schedule Trinidad and Tobago. No, you got to play them. And when you play them, Lord have mercy in heaven. You ain't going to walk out of there all fresh and spiffy. No, you're going to walk out of there with your skin ripped out of your back. And it wasn't. This was a flop. This was like a movie where people are like, oh, this is Oscar worthy. I'm like, that probably tells me it's going to be crap, but I'll watch it. And then you come to find out it's crap. Yeah. This freaking federation just freaking kneecapped us, and Herdman's like, you know what? I'm going to Tanya Harding y'all. You already got kneecapped in one knee. I'm going to go Tanya Harding you in the other. Okay. John Herdman went galooly on us. He did. When we already had one kneecap already taken out, he takes the baton and says, I'm going to get the other. Boom. Went galooly on us. You try to talk them down before you scratch them. Just like a horse race. They don't want to get in the gate, you got to give them a chance. If they don't want to get in the gate, you can't talk them down, you scratch them. They don't race. You make a change. You should have done that. It's good advice, honestly. The Brotherhood's still alive. Biello got by not changing much. He learned from Zach Arnett. You don't change much when a big personality leaves the room. You got to keep things similar. Mauro Biello at least was smart enough to keep things similar. He may not be a good coach, but he kept things similar. And it paid off, at least for the first leg, but I'm sure it'll probably pay off for the second leg as well, because it would suck if they lost in Toronto but won on the road. That was not a pen, and I will say that to the day I die. Not a pen. No era penal! No era penal! No era penal! Pinche FIFA! Pinche CONCACAF! No era penal! No era penal! No era penal! It wasn't a pen. It wasn't a penalty. Que chingue su madre, árbitros de CONCACAF. Que chingue su madre. No era penal. No era penal. Ma va fanculo. Que cazzo fai? What's it with me with a suit and putting the Coke on? I thought they were going to show the freaking trophy lift. As I did this for MLS Cup last year. Do you mind? Really? It is what it is. The RSR, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Not really, but pay me. Denise Ismo. Really? You're kidding me. You are absolutely kidding me. This man is ruining his career in real time. And people are deluded enough to think he's not. The Brazilian, the Seleção stint, yeah, nobody's going to touch him. The Seleção makes him look like a plumb fool. And then this game, the Denisismo, the freaking Fluminense, the Flusal, think he's some sort of god. But no. You know what Denise you got tonight? The Seleção Denise. You are delusional. You are absolutely delusional. Like, this is like freaking Diego Alonso at Boca. Diego Alonso was the next big thing. Or no? Marcelo Gallardo was at River a lot longer. Diego Alonso. Point being is Diego Alonso is a fraud too. Denise is at the same level of Diego Alonso. He was at Uruguay the whole time. Diego Alonso was Miami and Uruguay, but I could have sworn he was at Boca before. It was Schelotto then Alonso, right? Something like that. I feel like that was the case, but even though Diego Alonso and Denise are one and the same. They are two fraudulent managers that people thought were the truth from South America. Turns out, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They got their balls in a pouch. Marcelo's got Denise's balls in a pouch. And I can't believe Fluminense won. They got lucky. Denise's balls were in a pouch held by Marcelo. Simple. Simple.